What's up, guys? So in the last video I did on PvP, I told you guys if you wanted more PvP content, let me know in the comments below. And you guys were pretty emphatic about saying that you wanted more PvP content and you wanted to understand the decisions behind the picks and the bans. So I just went 7 for 7 and I've put 4 of the matches in this video. And the reason I'm not showing you the other 3 is because they were trolling. But I did get 4 somewhat competitive matches, so I put those in the video and I'll give you the breakdown. Let's do it. Alright, so he opens up with a ban on Zemo. Pretty standard, it's what I've been seeing from a lot of people. And he also bans Emma. Those are 2 of the most important characters for trying to control the speed of the match in particular. Zemo goes very early and gets out a bunch of slows, and then Emma reduces enemy speed by 10%, so getting rid of those characters makes it easier to figure out who's going to go first. I ban same 2 troll aim characters because I just troll ban. He grabs Taskmaster first, which is really not a great first pick. So I grab 2 incredibly powerful characters. I grab Ebony Maw, who's a defensive powerhouse on his own, and then I grab Phoenix because, well, if you don't ban Phoenix, then you have to deal with a Phoenix. He does answer that with a Mr. Sinister, which is one of the better options in the Phoenix, which is, if you can't beat her, make your own. And then he also grabs Ultron, so he did do a good job of grabbing really powerful meta characters once he had Taskmaster secured. But yeah, I think his downfall here was securing Taskmaster. While Taskmaster is an incredibly good PvP character, you don't necessarily want to first pick him. So I grab X-23 because she's really good for setting up combos and she's really good for helping to shut down either Ultron or Mr. Sinister. And then I also grab Loki because he's also very good for setting up a bunch of combos that can branch out in a bunch of different directions. He grabs Black Bolt, I assume to make sure I don't get Black Bolt to deal with his Ultron, not that I was going to, and then he grabs Magneto, and the Magneto pickup is actually a good one. A lot of times when I'm not troll banning, I actually will ban Magneto because I don't want to deal with Magneto, and having my first round of picks all blinded on their first turn is pretty inconvenient. I grab Symbiote Spider-Man because he can actually extend debuffs, especially the ability block from X-23, and then you'll see here, I get rid of Magneto because, well, I need my stuff to land. I can't be blind for it, otherwise I don't get any ability blocks. He goes ahead and bans Ebony Maw, which I think is a bit of a mistake, but I think he's leaving Phoenix on the field because he wants to clone a Phoenix, and he has taken away my defense. He also grabs Doc Ock, who's another really powerful character. However, he left open Hela. And Hela is basically going to complete my combo. In this particular match, Ebony Maw and Phoenix were there as a bit of a distraction, I guess you could say, because really the action on my side of the field is coming from Loki, Hela, X-23, and Symbiote Spider-Man. And as you'll see, he has quite a few slower characters. His only fast character is Taskmaster, but Taskmaster isn't fast enough to get in the way of any of my characters except Phoenix. So you'll see I'm going to open up and I pick a really healthy target. Mr. Sinister has a lot of health, and I want to be able to use the Loki special on him and use other abilities on him like that ability block, and I need him to still be alive for Hela. So I send Greg after Taskmaster, hoping that he counterattacks, which he does, which rewinds all their turn meter, so it's very useful. And then I spread all the ability blocks and the defense downs, and then I have Symbiote Spider-Man extend them all, and now he can't really take any action. So no Taskmaster ult, no Doc Ock special, no Ultron summoning, no Black Bolt special, that's it. So I actually opt not to go ahead and use the X-23 ult because I don't want to kill Ultron that early, because he'll come back without the ability block and be able to summon. So instead I force them to attack Phoenix, and by that time it's already too late. Then I can set X-23 loose because I know that I'm going to have time to be able to kill Ultron before he can spin up. So this wasn't the most competitive match, but that's how I ended it so quickly and made it look easy. Moving on to match number 2, and you'll see I'm doing my patented troll banning. It's not necessarily that I recommend you guys doing troll banning, it's just that it keeps it kind of interesting for me. There are very few players that I really worry about playing when I've banned the power picks that I have trouble playing around, so when I ban aim characters, it keeps it interesting. Every once in a while someone is able to take a match off me. Tomas does go ahead and ban Emma Frost and Ebony Maw, who are two really, really good picks, so I have to do something that I really don't like to do, which is to first pick Zemo. But because both Zemo and X-23 are on the field, I do have to first pick Zemo. I'm not thrilled about it, and Tomas does grab the other ability block as well as Phoenix. I like that he grabbed Phoenix, however, grabbing X-23 left other power picks on the field, so I do grab Ultron as well, because characters like Ultron and Phoenix, while they don't necessarily combo really well with others, they have so much insane value as solo characters, just like Mr. Sinister. He does go ahead and pick up Loki, which is another good pickup by him. However, Loki is actually the less essential part of that combo. Hela is more important because Hela is going to spread the ability blocks from X-23 that are going to make it very tough for me to get anything done, especially with a lot of characters that aren't that fast. So at this point, I decide I'm just going to try to weather the storm and overwhelm him by grabbing characters with really, really, really high health that can be very effective if they're allowed to take a turn. So I grab Doc Ock because he has a ton of health, and then ultimately I grab Sue because Sue has to get ability blocked, otherwise she can use her special and remove debuffs from everyone else. Also, her barrier is just worth so much raw protection on its own. And since I have Doc Ock, there's not really anything he can do to avoid those offense downs. So he does grab Carnage because he's trying to combo, but right now, aside from Phoenix, everything he has on his side of the field is built on that combo. He's hoping I'll ban Phoenix, and then he'll be able to Loki special and Carnage ult and ability block with X-23 and then spread that with everyone with Hela. And so the easiest way to avoid eating that combo? Getting rid of Hela. So now that I have his combo pretty much unraveled, the only thing I really have to deal with is the Phoenix. And he doesn't really have anyone who's taunting or anything that can actually pull me away from hitting Phoenix too much. So it's safe for me to go ahead and basically just pick another character that, again, is very high health, seeing as he's going to be throwing out some debuffs. By grabbing Squirrel Girl, I'll be able to use her special and remove debuffs. So now I have two cleansers on the team as well. And then Ultron can sort of cleanse himself. And then I also have the ability block from Zemo. So I've got a lot of interference, so I'm not really going to let him execute a proper combo. I was a little bit worried that he would get a good ability block with X-23 and then spread it around with the Carnage basic, but ultimately, yeah, as long as I can avoid killing Phoenix, I'm going to be able to weather his front-loaded damage storm, and then my team scales a lot better as the fight goes on. So I ability block X-23 so that I don't have to deal with anyone being ability blocked. It actually hit Loki so hard it put him in stealth. I choose to go ahead and finish Loki off, and then that comes with the added benefit of putting an offense down on Taskmaster, as he was the next to be about to take a turn. However, since no one is going to get ability blocked, while he does put some unfortunate debuffs on my team, when Sue goes, she'll be able to remove anything that's left. So Ultron is able to summon because nothing stopped him. That allows me to use the Sue special and remove all of the negative effects. He does put Phoenix out in the open, but I have Mr. Sinister, so I get my own. So it's at this point that I don't have much of a choice but to kill Phoenix, but I'm not too worried about it because the interference he's going to run is not so bad. So I use the Ultron basic because that's enough to kill the normal Phoenix, and now I still have the ult in the chamber. So he does fire off the X-23 ult, but it takes out Squirrel Girl, who is almost gone, and then Zemo, who, for the most part, I was pretty done with. And that brings my Dark Phoenix onto the field. But yeah, to deal with this Ultron now, he's going to have to kill him twice. And he has a death proof because the healer bot went down. Not to mention that I have Mr. Sinister waiting with special to heal him up if he doesn't go down. So I get really good value on the basic from Dark Phoenix. It's only one more turn until she can unleash some real devastation. Then I fire the Sue ultimate, so I can offense down them and get a lot of barrier up, He is trying to shut down this Ultron before he can spin up, but he's not able to. The speed bot that's still on the field rewinds Dark Phoenix further. But yeah, it's just taking him too long, and he would have to kill Ultron twice, and I have plenty of interference in the way. So I take his Dark Phoenix out, and even though he was able to bring my Dark Phoenix down, I have a spun up Ultron with death proof that he would have to kill twice, and he's just not going to be able to do that in time. And then I can continue to add death proofs to Ultron by killing people, as you just saw. His Taskmaster does steal the death proof off of Ultron, but as you can see, it doesn't much matter. I have to use the basic and I just get it right back. So I bring down Taskmaster, and that leaves just X-23. The Sue Storm special is back up. And yeah, it's easy street. Obviously he has no hope of winning at this point, but yeah, he went with a really well orchestrated front-loaded ability block, defense down, bleed combo. So I just took the linchpin piece out of that combo, and then even though he had a Phoenix on the field, what he had left once I removed the Hela was not enough to cut through and allow me to spin up. And then once you have characters like Ultron and Mr. Sinister and Sue able to actually start using their abilities are really impactful. So it made this a quick and easy win. Alright, so we're going into match 3 here. Always interesting when I run into someone who wants to use the same troll banning that I do. So an aim minion gets banned, and I'm going to do the same, so it's going to leave all the power picks on the field, and a lot of people actually aren't prepared to deal with that. But that is the situation that I'm more than happy to put people in. So he does go ahead and grab Zemo first, and with all the power picks on the field, you do not want to grab Zemo first. In the previous video that I made where I wrote, stop picking Zemo, I should have been more clear and wrote, stop first picking Zemo. It's not that Zemo's a bad character, it's that first picking him is not a good idea. So as you can see, I grab Ebony Maw and Phoenix, and you can see he's immediately grabbing the really high speed meta characters. He's got Emma, who in addition to being fast, slows the enemy team. He's got Zemo, who's very fast with an ability block. He's got X-23, who can be very fast with an ability block. However, as good as that strategy is, it doesn't work when you literally just load the other team up with what I can only describe are like insanely powerful single characters. And what I mean by that is the team that I have assembled over there between Doc Ock and Phoenix and Ebony and Ultron is that even if he's able to kill and or disable 2, maybe even 3 of them right out the gate, which he may be able to do, the ones that are remaining will still be able to clean up and see the fight through because they're just insanely powerful characters. So it's not necessarily as simple as rush to pick all the best meta characters and the legendaries. However, if someone is going to leave literally all of them open, it's a pretty safe bet to grab them. So at this point, I'm just looking for really high health characters. Now that is the first pick that I made that isn't necessarily a super OP character on their own, but was actually intended to counter him because Zemo's passive will kill a Greg, and a lot of the things that the characters on that team do may result in a dead Greg, but basically rewinding them 100 speed bar as soon as the match starts is to our advantage, and I wanted to take away the opportunity for him to do the Hela X-23 combo. So he does ban Ebony Maw, which is not a problem. And then I take away Emma Frost because she's the scariest character that I see on his team, and she's also one of the hardest to take out if I can create an opening. And that's just because she has insanely high health, really high armor, high resistance with her diamond form. She's just a pain. Plus, her second ability is absolutely devastating. So he grabs Ghost Rider because he's really trying to commit to just a fast, front-loaded, heavy damage onslaught. Now that is a very scary prospect, but I've picked so many characters that have really high health or self-healing or have to be killed multiple times that I should be able to weather this storm. And if I can weather the storm, the characters that I have scale much better later into the match. So he's going to get to go a lot early. Zemo's passive is going to immediately take out the Greg, and then that'll give speed to Carnage and X-23. Ghost Rider's already insanely fast, so he's going to do a lot of damage early. So there's the Zemo passive that takes out the Greg. He goes for an ability block on Phoenix, which is an interesting decision. He goes for a second ability block on Sue, but the beauty of me depriving him of Hela is that now he's out of ability blocks and he can't stop them all. So he actually does use the Carnage basic to spread the ability block to Doc Ock, which is good, and then he can potentially do even more damage thanks to the Ghost Rider special that he just used. However, he can't disable all of them, and individually these characters are just so powerful that even though Sue dies without even getting to take a turn, and even though Phoenix is low, I'm able to use the Hela ultimate on Ghost Rider, which is going to apply slows to a lot of the characters on the field, which will buy me much needed time to get these characters spun up. I take the defense up away from Zemo with the Phoenix basic that I have to use. Doc Ock gets hit pretty hard by Carnage there, and hit again by X-23, but Ultron is finally able to spin up, and if you let Ultron spin up, there's a good chance that it's bad news for you. He does get disrupted because of Black Bolt, but he does get the defense up after the fact, and Black Bolt is not able to take him out, so he's able to one-shot Zemo, and we get our first kill. I send Greg to go and heal block Carnage, because some of these Ultron bots will probably be going down, and I don't want Carnage to get a bunch of healing off of it. I go ahead and use the double hit on Ghost Rider there, because it also heal blocks him when Greg hits him, and that doesn't really matter because I'm able to take him out with the Ultron bot, but just in case, then I can get back to work on Carnage because the Black Bolt is very slow and he's really low on speed bar with a slow debuff on him. So yeah, he's not really too much of a threat. And then I'm able to finally use the Phoenix special. He kills Phoenix, which brings Dark Phoenix on the field. But yeah, as you can see, I just had to weather his initial storm, and even though it was pretty brutal, it didn't completely disable my team. And so yeah, among other things, just having Ultron able to spin up unhindered is really, really powerful, especially in Balanced Draft where no one has red stars. So Ultron is the equivalent of a 7 red star here if all characters were fully maxed. Not that you can get red stars on Ultron, but I hope you understand what I'm saying, which is that in Balanced Draft, Ultron is not any weaker. So he's actually much stronger in Balanced Draft. So there's the Dark Phoenix ult, and there's that win. This brings us to match number 4. As you may have guessed by now, I go with my very tactical bans of some aim minions. However, this time my opponent does the same. With none of the power picks on the field, I tend to like to grab Ebony Maw, and the reason for that is he will, for the most part, take care of all of your team's defense if he's allowed to stay on the field by himself. And a lot of people, when they see Phoenix available, they'll grab her. So having the counter to Phoenix already in your pocket is pretty useful, although of course he could get banned. So Robot X Rooster actually goes with 2 really scary characters, Zemo and Emma, who as a pair are very scary, but like I was just explaining in the previous match, that's building towards a very front-loaded team. And while, as you can see from the ability blocks he's got, and Emma and the Taskmaster, while he is, just like in the previous match, building a very scary front-loaded onslaught, the best way to answer that is just with a ton of really, really high health, high impact characters. So I've got Ebony Maw who has a ton of health, I have Phoenix who has a ton of health, I have Mr. Sinister who has a ton of health, Doc Ock who has a ton of health, and then Ultron has pretty good health, but would also have to die twice. So he does grab Hela, and as scary as his team currently looks, I can't allow him to have Hela on the field because he will spread the ability blocks, and if none of my characters are able to use any of their abilities, I will be in trouble. So he has dictated the fact that I have to ban Hela, which means I am actually leaving Emma and Zemo on the field, which is a very scary prospect, but again, for the most part, it's very front-loaded. So for my final pick, I go with Sue because, again, she's very, very, very high health, and just like all the other characters on this team, if she's allowed to take a turn, she can cause enough of a disruption on her own. So he actually goes with Vision, and I kind of like the Vision pick because Vision is going to give him 2 more ability blocks, so he actually has 4 ability blocks. And then he's got some blinds, so he has a very, very scary opening wave of attacks. However, if he's not able to completely keep my team locked down, it's going to snowball out of control for him. So he does put an ability block on Phoenix with Zemo, and he gets a slow on Doc Ock. Then he fires off the Taskmaster blinds, so we've already got some blinds out there, but literally no one on this team was going to attack on turn 1. So then he goes in with Vision, and he gets 2 more really good ability blocks. Now he has ability blocks on Sinister and on Ultron. However, his hands were kind of tied, because if he ability blocked Sue instead of Sinister, I would have cloned Emma and had everything removed. And because he ability blocked Mr. Sinister, that means that Sue is going to be able to take her turn, which is going to remove all those debuffs from everyone else. And then Phoenix is going to be able to remove any remaining debuffs and immediately become Dark Phoenix, which he has to deal with. And because Sue was already kind of low, his X-23 ult gets distracted on Sue. This allows me to clone, and I had to really take some time and think about who I wanted to clone, but ultimately I go with Emma because she's just insanely powerful. So I'm able to use the Phoenix special because I want to get the regens out to my team, and then I remove what I believe was a bleed on Sue Storm. All the positive effects go away from the Emma Frost ultimate, which is definitely pretty powerful. He does get a stun on Ultron as well, but doesn't kill him, which is also really good for him. And he does get a blind on Dark Phoenix. However, I am able to give out a bunch of regen with the Doc Ock special. So Ultron gets the regen and is okay. Dark Phoenix doesn't care about the blind, so I get to drop the Dark Phoenix ultimate because he wasn't able to bring her down in time. And then, yeah, as you can see, this match kind of got away from him. And so yeah, you got to see a lot of the same strategy employed for this particular video. I'll do more 7-for-7 breakdowns, but yeah, for this one in particular, some people are going to write it off as, oh, PvP, you just pick all the OP characters. But it's not that simple. I actually prefer not to build teams like this when I can avoid it. But when I'm facing people who are just full committing to a front-loaded assault where they're going to try to disable absolutely everyone, really, really high health characters with super impactful abilities is the best way to counter that. So for this video, you saw a lot of that. A lot of my matches don't go that way, but that's what I got today. And like I said, the other 3 matches were just troll matches. So yeah, I included those in the beginning of the video, but yeah, I did want to do a breakdown on the footage that we have here. So that's all I've got for you right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this PvP breakdown. I will be bringing you more PvP breakdowns going forward, as long as this is the kind of content you guys like. So if this is the kind of content that you like, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular that you want me to go into more detail on in future videos. And yeah, otherwise, thank you guys very much for checking it out. Anyone is welcome to join my Discord server, discord.gg/Khasino. We got blitz predictions, infographics, videos, data mines, content creator Q&A, and more. And daily Twitch streams are back every single day at 1 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/Khasino, and you can see me doing a lot of stuff, including PvP, live. Otherwise, though, thank you guys very much for checking out this video. I will see you guys real soon. Until then, peace!